up. I'm clicking. Hello.
Hello.
Hello. How are you?
I'm doing all right. Did you not record that song?
What? What?
I believe.
Oh gosh, I'm sorry. I think to reference a different band and a different song, everything is catching on fire. I need to turn off my printer because it's calibrating. Hang on a second.
Oh.
I thought you'd be late.
Why?
Experience?
Not recent.
Shut up!
Hashtag doing better together. I don't know if Merlin is telling me or the printer to shut up, but I will stand in solidarity with the printer.
I'm always telling you to shut up where someone should be.
Yes. But normally,
what do we do with our whore mouth? What do we do? What do we do with it?
We say no.
Not today.
Not today.
Silvio Farrell. What do we? What do we say?
Oh, there we. Okay, sorry.
What do we say to the 3D printer?
Not that one.
Not today, 3D printer. It's not really as durable as death, I guess.
Well,
what do we say to
yet.
the FDM 3D printer? What do we say to the filament? What do we say to the hot end nozzle? What do we say to this beautiful high quality? What do we say to the beautiful high quality LCD display? What do we say to the hotbed? What do we say to the engineering plate? What do we say to the smooth plate? What do we say to the textured PEI plate? What do we say?
You know what?
What do we say to the automated material system or AMS? What do we say? We say not today.
All right, you've squeezed all the juice out of that one. It was very good. It's going to be extremely funny to 5 people, including me.
One, huh?
Yeah. You ended up sounding like...
What do we say to the second printer, the P1P? We say this to the X1C. It also has an automated material system, or what you call an AMS. Not today. Either of you.
If you didn't sound like the shrimp from The Muppets,
if
The Muppet
you
Show.
didn't sound like the shrimp, you have the best dependent clauses. If I didn't sound like the shrimp from what?
The Muppets or The Muppets Show. I don't know what article.
There are Muppets on the Muppet Show.
There are.
But the hint is in the name.
Well,
show.
But, like
what do we say to
Lego,
the show?
like iPad or iPhone, you know.
Time to do. What?
I don't care about upsetting Apple C-suite by calling something the iPhone, but I would be sad if I hurt someone from the Jim Henson Corporation and called it the Muppet Show when it's just Muppet Show.
Okay.
I'm pulling a beaker.
Got that settled.
Yes, I thought it was implicit. Not Beaker, sorry.
Dr.
Beaker and Bunsen. Yes, I'm not Beaker. I am Scooter, I believe.
I love Scooter. He's so. Wait. Oh, you mean Scooter, the stagehand guy?
Yes.
Yeah.
The anxious
so
one
cute.
who runs around with a clipboard.
Yeah,
he needs
I also
to
always
stand in
really
superhero pose too.
I also always really liked Robin because I thought it was so cute that I love the way Kermit looked, and I always thought one of the things that's so neat and distinctive about Kermit. Well, there's a lot that's distinctive about Kermit, but his eyes have that very specific kind of unusual shape. The black part is not like just a circle. But then when
Kash Patel ripped it off, I believe.
You're thinking of the Amazing Larry. He looks like the Amazing Larry from Pee-wee. Pee-wee
does a little bit.
Is there something you'd like to share with the rest of us, Amazing Larry? It's like a sweater. Someone keeps knitting and knitting and knitting and knitting. And
wait,
and
is that Chris Fleming? No. Last week I fell asleep watching Chris Fleming.
Which one? What are you watching?
Sketches.
You watch Show Pig?
YouTube? It was just autoplay on YouTube, so I think eventually it got to Show Pig, but I always...
the people that you want to be Polly are never the ones who are Polly.
Exactly. I was like, I've never seen... I both feel seen and self-conscious whenever listening or watching Chris Fleming, because I'm like, I know you know the type of person I am, but I don't like that you do.
As much as I'm personally somewhat against bits, unless they're like appropriate and actually really funny. I'm mostly against bits, but he has one. I heard that. I heard you laugh.
You were supposed to.
Yeah, it was like an orgasm of incredulity. I can't decide whether I'm sexually satisfied or confused or both. Not like bits. I don't usually like, but I like when he describes something and he'll just out of nowhere. He's done this at least 2 or 3 times where he'll be like, something like, all crabs are. Well, no, was it all horses are bisexual or something like that? No, he'll be like, all clocks are bi. Did you know that? Bi at best. I don't know why that's so funny to me. But when they made Robin, his little nephew, he had a lot of the same features in frog shape as Kermit, but then he had like kind of a softer face, and his eyes were a different shape. He had little cute round eyes. Robin, I'm talking about? He's like a little Kermit, his nephew.
Yes. I originally knew him as Tiny Tim from The Muppet Christmas Carol, Muppet Christmas Carol.
Did you ever watch Emmett Potter, or not Emmett Potter, what's it called? The jug band, Emmett. Shoot, what's it called? What's the Muppet thing called? His jug band, Emmett Otter. Emmett Otter's jug band, I think it's called something like that, right? Did you ever watch that?
I don't believe so.
Oh my god!
Oh fuck! Sorry.
It opens with this amazing scene of him rowing a boat. It's really cute.
I haven't just seen this show. I have seen a live version of this show
with actual puppets,
and it was both. It was a combination.
It's a blended show.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
By puppet at best.
It was by
were you going to say? Were you going to say by? No. Were you going to say by puppet? Because that's not even funny, and we both said it.
I know.
Holy shit, man, that's great. I loved the Muppet Show when I was a kid. It was in syndication, and when was it on? I want to say it can't have been on this often, but I think it was on at like 7:30 p.m. when I was in like 5th grade, and all my friends and I watched and loved the Muppet Show because we were, a certain age. I was 3 when Sesame Street started. I was right there. I was sometimes allowed to watch Sesame Street, on TV. I had a cassette tape of Sesame Street songs for my nap time. And so having grown up with that, but, then that also made me the perfect age for The Electric Company, featuring Spider-Man and the great Morgan Freeman. And Rita Moreno. And then did you know Morgan Freeman was on that?
Nope.
And Spider-Man and Rita Moreno? That's how she got the E in her EGOT?
Sure.
Which one's TV? That's Emmy, right?
What? Yes. Yeah.
And it had Spider-Man. And
wait, which
the perfect age for Electric Company, which is kind of like a master's degree in Sesame Street. It's for slightly older kids. And which then, of course, situated me to be the perfect age for the Muppet Show, because those are like a lot of my friends from the show, but it wasn't for like little kids, and it had Steve Martin on it.
It also just holds up. It's immaculate. I watch that show occasionally. Isn't it fun to watch
Elton John or whoever interact with puppets? It's really fun.
I
bet it was pretty fun to do.
It was just something that, my dad, who's a bit older than you, he was also, that was like his show and his little brother's show. Like, I'm too cool to watch this show.
Your father?
My father.
Yes. Can I ask, well, if you're comfortable saying, can I ask how old he is? I forget if you told me.
So do I. Like,
but he's in his 60s probably?
64, I think. Yes.
Yeah, closer than I would have guessed. Because somebody who's like my friend's father, if I had to guess, I would think that person's 84.
My father. Oh, Lord. Oh.
Well, because think about my age.
Yes, but I just thought about my dad at 84.
All my friends from college are still 19.
Yes.
In my head.
Mm-hmm.
When I see that they are now happy and well-adjusted people with no hair, it makes me happy, but it does a little bit disrupt my idea. There's a friend of mine I used to live with in college who I still talk to pretty regularly on Blue Sky, my friend Jamie, and like, God, it's just so weird. He was at Stanford, he's a professor at Stanford, and his face is exactly the same, but he's not 19 anymore.
Oh, that tends to happen. Oh, my.
See, you can play it off legit, and you can Syracuse me on that. But isn't there some part of you that think of the kid you best liked, and maybe was your best friend in like second grade? So I told you about my best friend from first grade, right?
Yes.
And how he produced a TV show and stuff, and like it was just so weird. It was so nice to reconnect with him. Another person I reconnected with from the Muppet era was my friend Eric, who was one of the two sons of the minister at our church, and we were extremely good friends. We were the only kids in choir who understood how to sing harmonies, so we wrote our own alto parts. And I reconnected with him because he'd seen the website. It's just weird. It's just that I think of that kid. The last time I saw him was when his family happened to be in, I don't know how this happened, but they were in the Bay Area from Cincinnati, and we visited them at our mall, my junior high mall, in about 1982. That's the last time I saw Eric. So that means he was obviously 14, 15. And now he's apparently my age. And what's weird is apparently he's always been my age. And at least as long as we're all here, this is the part that blows my mind, we'll always be the same age.
Yeah, I'm not trying to Syracuse.
Doesn't that freak you out? I think it's insane. I think it feels it's like reading a Kurt Vonnegut book to me. Like it is so trippy to me. This really obvious. I don't know. I'm just being honest. It's just weird.
No, I'll do the obnoxious vulnerability thing where I'm wondering if this is another queer thing where so many of the people I lost touch with and then I eventually did. We got back in touch mostly from high school reunions when the 20th anniversary.
Yeah, we're like, even
happened.
if you don't go, everybody's kind of in that state of mind and emails are going out, right? That kind of thing where you kind of even unintentionally kind of end up reconnecting, even if just to find out that one person is still alive and now they organize things and are a little obnoxious.
Yeah, well, and that was the weird part is I
used to be a cheerleader and now I'm a busybody.
Well, exactly. No, that was the weird thing. Everyone was the same except for the few people where everyone just kept saying how different they were.
I bet Ozempic is
I was
fucking
one of
that
them.
up. I bet Ozempic is really changing the landscape with
too. That was, but it was a couple years ago for me. I understand. But yeah. I do wonder a little bit.
I'm sorry, you were saying people around the time of reunions, you ended up reconnecting with some
we're all in our 30s, or at the time we were all in our late 20s, and everyone was the same except for the, oh my God, you're so different, which was like me and the other two queer kids who were happy. And
did you know they were queer kids at the time, or did you realize that you had something in common with them?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, there were many, 3.5 people came out to me in high school. I did not, and I was like, I wonder why this is happening. And then, click.
Down? 3.5 people came out to me in high school. Okay.
Well, because one was like, I think I have a crush on someone.
I just like words, Alex. Get over it.
I know. I
don't trust words, but I like them.
Where I tried to defend myself, I started talking, and oh my God,
came out to me in high school.
Yes, okay. And then though, when people started having kids. And I did expect this, they became not completely different people, but it was like, oh God, they have a kid now. We're the same age and they have a kid. Oh no, we're the same age and they have 2 kids. Right, and that's where the fucked up thing gets me. I'm like, oh, time sure is a real thing. And that also though happens.
Doesn't it make them seem so, at that point when they've got kids, I'll speak for myself, I was always pretty put off by the whole like grown-ups who are obsessed with their kids thing. Like I didn't want to have kids, not overtly, you know what I mean? But like it was like, oh fuck, because these people come to school, like they come to like, because when I was living in Florida, I still went to tons of New College stuff. I'd go to parties. I'd go to like, for things for the board or whatever, the alumni board. Like there's things I have to go to and then things that I'd like want to go to. And I would just go trip with my friends for a weekend or whatever. I did that until the late 90s. And I just was always like, oh God, there's this nice couple that I went to school with that were, God, this sounds like such a euphemism now, non-traditional students, which just means that they like weren't 18, people in their 30s who like kind of, as they say, came back to school, the ones who were paying for it and trying hard. And, it was kind of like a Robin of the Erie kind of thing, like where the kid could talk and was still breastfeeding, which is fine. But
oh, yep. No,
yeah, like my ex-wife used to say, when they're old enough to ask for it, you probably should start cutting them off.
Oh, God. What's the Game of Thrones? What's that kid?
Do you remember
Robin?
His name's Robin.
Oh,
his
no.
His mother is Lysa, and she is the sister of Caitlin Stark, or Tully. Tully's a fish.
Mm-hmm.
And you got the blackfish.
People.
You got the blackfish.
I don't see fish anymore.
Thank you. And you've got who else you got in that? Oh, who you got? You got Buy Us Menses, which kind of sounds like a period.
Yeah, it does.
I am having a Buy Us Menses this month. Hey, gals, have you ever had one of those Tobias Menzies? Hi. North remembers that it's time to buy pads. Hi.
No.
Well, they call it a period costume because...
Oh, all right.
And what else were we talking about? We got Muppets. Oh yeah, I don't know. It's just funny because, it's too much to get into. Life is too much to get into. We should do a funny podcast for people. But
I do think it's funny that all of the only people who were annoying about their kids from even now, the only people I know who are annoying about kids, you expected them, like you knew, oh no, and
are we doing air quotes around it? She's Chinese. Is this
not that I know of?
See, I did that earlier, fake racist bit, and I thought I'd do it twice as a racist bit, and then you'd think it was funny.
I only missed.
I'll do one later. I'll do one more. It'll be one more Chinese joke at the end. Will you be ready for it?
I hope so.
That because the rule of threes.
Mm-hmm.
I told you 3 times now. Yes, but like there was a reason I get so emotional, for example, about music from a certain time, and it's not because I was getting sloppy hand jobs from Mary Jane and my Thunderbird. Sometimes it's because that was a very lonely time for me. Like 1979 is a year. There's a reason my 1979 list is so fucking raging. It's one of my best. I actually have a couple. That's separate from the Made of Cocaine playlist. There's some overlap, but my Merlin's 1979 list is almost all of the songs bring back a very resonant feeling of a specific geographical loneliness at a specific time. So in the same way that like I hated or loved or dealt with the song at that time, sometimes you have evocative feelings about that. Well, the thing is, the Eagles are as old as however old they were in 1979, and now they're older or dead. But in my head, Glenn Frey is still the guy with the long hair and the mustache. In the same way that Robbie Desautels, who worked on that 70s show, is still my 6-year-old friend I used to urinate with. Now, when you say that by itself, my 6-year-old friend I used to urinate with, it kind of sounds like I am in my 50s and have a 6-year-old friend.
Yes, it does. It does.
It's what's called savant. So he worked with A+K,
Was that the racist joke? Did I miss it?
No, Ashton Kutcher. He was the talent, one of the talent on that 70s show, along with Mila Kunis.
Meg Griffin, yes.
McGriffin?
Yes. Meg Griffin.
McGriffin. Oh, that's from that television program you like.
Griffin, yes.
Yeah, she's funny. She's also in that underrated movie Jupiter Ascending.
Yes. Oh, she is.
It's got Eddie Redmayne. It's got
Yes,
that
it
handsome guy
does.
that dances. Channing Tatum.
Channing Tatum.
Titty
Now that
Channing?
sounds like
Titty
a butt
Channing.
joke.
Whoa! Did you listen to today's Dakota Ring yet?
I have not.
Oh man, it's pretty good. It's about oh gosh, what was oh shit, it's the main part of the whole show with the term. So you know how you say like big ass or grown ass? I'm a grown ass person, I'm a big ass person. I think they call it the ass intensifier is the actual linguistic term for adding the word ass to something.
Oh,
and so they go into the history of how of the word well, kind of, if they put it this way, it would sound dumb, but the way they do it is awesome. So they're really talking about when did we first start putting ass after another adjective to make a new adjective?
Hold on. Okay. So
okay, I always think of canonically for me. I think of speaking of Mike Judge. I guess we weren't, but Idiocracy. And you go to the Hardee's machine and you go extra big ass fries. You know?
Do they go also into it like
they go into the whole
asshole,
history of ass.
like when it is well, but what about like I feel like it much more is an adjective than a noun. If that makes like
ass
or like an asshole, whereas
like that was an asshole move.
Yeah.
No, it's mainly about that, but you know, it's all just podcast. But it does go into, and it goes into like, you know, yes, ass comes from our word for what we now call a donkey. At some point in the, I think it was a really long time ago. Pretty long time ago, we started using ass for butt. But I think it's from like the 1700s or something.
Huh.
Well, like think about like a butt steak. Like the end of something, right? I think that's where, like, or the cul-de-sac. You know, did you take French? You took French. Cul-de-sac. What's that mean?
No, but I lived on one of those.
Oh, you know what it means?
Not a French.
I think it means ass of the bag. Ass of the bag.
Huh. I don't like when there's an episode and if someone looked at my tabs, they're like, "Huh, what's
ass of the bag?" That sounds like the name of like ass of the bag. I don't know why. Is it a golf course? Is it a bed and breakfast? Hi, welcome to Ass of the Bag. Huh?
I don't know is this real or is this
is who
just,
real? That's a question you should always be asking yourself, Alex. And even if and when you don't know the answer, just keep proceeding like it can be figured out.
Well, that's the important part, you know.
Yeah.
But there's always a bag. You just don't know if it's an ass. And Reddit says it means arse of the bag. So that just throws in a whole
so it's what
wrench.
I said, but unnecessarily slightly Irish.
Is that? I thought it was British. Arse is.
You're saying that Ireland is not in Britain? Who are the Britons?
Who
are the Britons? Now you see the violence inherent in the system. We're an anarcho-syndicalist collective.
Is this from
You got that. That's an easy one. You got that, right?
No. I started listening to a podcast about this, I think, but no. Oh, the Irish independence, but
oh, are you listening to Dom and Tom?
Yes, Dom.
Yes. Well, can I just tell you a new name for a new phenomenon I need? I've talked at length before to try to. Well, people have said, how do I put this? People would be like, "Oh my gosh, I met Merlin Mann," and blah blah. And I'll be like, "Oh my gosh, believe me, I know it's weird." Like the big example that always comes to mind: meeting somebody you know from a thing, especially a podcast, right? Like before podcasts, like meeting Andy Ihnatko at Macworld in 1999, where I really freaked him out because I was like, "Holy shit, you're Andy Ihnatko." I'm from Florida, and I have magazines that you're in. Oh my God, you're Andy Ihnatko. You've got the chops. You're wearing the hat. Holy shit. One day I met fucking Jason Snell. And I'm like, "You're Jason Snell from the Mac stuff?" Like, holy shit, it's so fucking weird. You know what I mean? Like, it's...
Yes, because I did the same thing.
Like when you met Jason.
When I met with
and it
Jason
seems like really normal mostly.
It was like, you were on the last page of a magazine that
I
read on the way to school.
I know. Wait, what was my point? What was I talking about? Andy Nako meeting people.
The parasocial, parasocial meetup where you're like, oh, I met Merlin Mann at the comic book store.
And what was the example that we started with? I've already forgotten.
Andy and Nako
before
and
that was
his
the
hat.
I blew it again.
The term that you want a term for when you meet someone.
Yeah. And why did I want that term? It's just for when you meet somebody that you know, like from one of your magic machines. You know, it's
Wait, no? Is this like is this the Chinese joke, but it's a Japanese joke about vending machines?
Is this the end of the show? Is this the keychain challenge? If it's not the end of the show, then it's not the Chinese joke. Now you blew it. Now we're off. Now we've got 3.5 people came out to you in high school, and now we have 3.5 Chinese jokes, and have nowhere near the 2.9 that I'd promised. Now here's the thing.
3, 2, 1.
No.
Merlin, what happens when you meet someone and you think, oh gosh, that's so cool. Andy and Nako, I know your hat and your mutton chops from listening and watching your podcast. What would you call that phenomena?
You'd like to sell. It occurs to me that if I'm not careful, I may turn into a Stevie Nicks lyrics guy, and I don't feel good about that.
May turn into?
It's just an F and a G, the whole song.
Why wouldn't you feel good about that?
What if I put it in my bio? If I started doing Stevie Nicks lyrics, I mean, isn't that kind of a bridge too far?
No. Wait, compared to what? What's a bridge that's close enough?
We should go over my bios. I have many good bios.
Exactly.
So
that's what I'm wondering.
I love that program. I don't remember where I learned the program we're talking about is I don't know. I mean, this is so unnecessary for me to even need to say this. It doesn't do anything to help anybody. For what it's worth, I would describe The Rest is History as my favorite history podcast. And I don't want to get in an argument about it. Like, I don't care. Mainly what I want to say is the podcast is good and you should listen to it. Oh, by the way, the people versus idea concept is getting very strong with me, and we should come back to that at some point. I'm starting to figure out why people are all fucked up. I'm starting to really figure it out.
After show.
No, not necessarily. But what I'm trying to say is I love that program. I like their chemistry. It's Dominic and Tom, and I forget their last names, but they're both really good, and they kind of trade off episode to episode or series to series, and I agree with you. It's a wonderful show. And they'll do like usually these last few years, they do a multiple part series on some historical event. You know, I, for one, was kind of surprised to hear about how, Carthage versus Rome could be interesting to like listen to. It seems like it would be really benefit from either reading or from a visual presentation, but they're so good. Anyways, I accidentally saw a photo of them, and I had the same feeling I had. You know, the one that comes straight to mind that involves two guys, Car Talk. I had been the world's biggest Car Talk fan. It's a call-in mechanics help show from Massachusetts that was on NPR. It's very popular. Two comedian car mechanic brothers. And first time I saw a photo of them, it wasn't any value feeling, but it was just mainly like, let's put it this way. I didn't even think about those guys really having a face. I don't think about Tom and Dom and what their faces look like and how they contrast from one another and what it looks like when they sit in a studio. You know what I mean? When I listen.
Yes.
So like with Andy Ihnatko, I think I knew him from he probably had at that point, it might've been Mac Week. God, he wrote everywhere. But and he was
also primarily on video podcasts. That's why
not in 1999.
Oh, never mind. Wow.
Anyway.
Never mind.
Weird flex, but yeah, I have a video podcast. It's something I shot on a 16 millimeter camera that I haven't developed yet. And that's here. And because my internet goes, but then it gets even weirder because then I guess this is not at all surprising, thinking even just the slightest bit algorithmically, but something popped up on YouTube, apropos of nothing. There was a history video, and I saw that the name was Dominic, and I was like, is there any chance? Because I like podcasts, and podcasts are not a big deal, and podcast people aren't famous people. Well, of course now, people who do podcasts are famous from other things.
Yeah, I was going to say, podcast people aren't famous, but people who are famous sure do make podcasts.
Mm-hmm. And so that was him. And then I went ahead and I was like, I wonder what's up with these guys. And I went and I looked and I saw what they looked like. And it was just this crazy to me. It's the first time I ever saw Tom Maliazzi. It seems nuts. And then you know what else I discovered? How about this one? I had a video pop up the other day. This is exactly the level of slight obscurity to bend my fucking brain. Because so you and I've talked about BBC Archive. On
yes,
YouTube.
the tech. Yes.
I was friend of the show, Angela. Hi, Angela. I don't know if you still listen, Angela. Friend of the show, Angela. I was saying to Angela.
Angela, I hope that your hangover is okay.
Yeah.
Never mind.
I've learned that a lot. What I've learned is that a lot of you people like to use the computer. And so what I said to Angela, I was like, look, you got to get away from those headlines. And what I said was, Angela, I said, I have two words for you, tenet and tenant. No, what I said was BBC Archive, because we talked last week about
Tenet.
And there's a scene in the movie Tenet when a guy says to Denzel Washington's son, he says, I have one word for you, tenet.
Oh.
Plastics.
Did you catch that?
Did you catch that it's a palindrome?
Spread. Yes.
I palindrome I.
Well, catch or look at the poster for a while and go, oh, okay.
I'm not sure which would help.
The one where I feel smart.
Yeah, nice job.
Thank you.
No, really, seriously, because I have a name for this phenomenon. Sometimes it takes me a while to figure things out. And then so I get a lot of history stuff, and what popped up was some kind of a history thing. And I see a face. Oh, you know what? The thing is, if I do this to you, because we're all so different, if I send this to you, I know you're going to get it immediately and it won't be as funny. But if I send you a thumbnail, just the thumbnail, just the tip, can you tell me what feeling you get from seeing this guy? Give me a second here. I'm sorry. So just take a minute.
It depends on cut or uncut. But I
thought we used to say Qatar. And then people said gutter. No, then they said cutter, and now they say gutter.
I think that's self-harm, but,
right.
To each
uncircumcisable. That's a word that I used on a puzzle the other day. Here's a really good one. 1978 BBC Archive, How to Be Your Own Boss. That's so awesome. Fuck, I can't find this. Never mind. Okay, so I'm just staring at this, and it's one of those, not fancy videos with a not fancy thumbnail, the kind of thing I make, where it's just a thumbnail of,
like a normal, yes.
Nobody's making a no face or anything. It's just
yes. But it's a shot of the video, and you're like, I know what this video is going to be about without some crazy veneers staring back at me.
Yeah. I saw an article about people who regret their veneers. I'm killing time to see if I can find this, and I can't. I see this guy, and it's this red-haired guy. And I'm like, oh, God, who is this guy? So here's guesses. Just at first I was like, I see this red-haired guy, and it's some kind of a history or, some kind of an English documentary-style video that they so excel at. And I'm like, my first thing was, is it that one guy that's always on number file? James, what's his name? That cute red-haired guy that's on Brady's show sometimes? There's that guy. I was like, no, it can't be that guy. Older than him. I finally figured it out. It's Arthur Weasley.
Oh,
so imagine seeing somebody that kind of looks like Bill Weasley.
I was thinking of a Harry Potter joke.
You're kind of like, he's somewhere between Donald Gleason and you know what I mean? And I was like, it's Arthur Weasley. The guy who plays Arthur Weasley is totally a comedian and documentarian and presenter. I did not know that.
Oh my goodness! I did not know that either.
Isn't that kind of cool? Remember? He's
cool.
great. I like the beginning of 4. I like the one where they go to the tournament with the boot. Isn't that a good one?
No. You're right. I'm sorry. I agree.
And he's got the Hitler guy comes along. Isn't that Diggory's dad? Is that Diggory's dad?
I don't know.
Isn't that Cedric Diggory's dad? Isn't he the Ministry of Magic guy? What?
I don't know. When they go to the
elevator,
boot
are you talking about the flu? You can't take the flu. You got to take the boot.
No. After they're in the boot and they go up to their fancy wizard skybox to watch
they are definitionally not fancy seats. They're the worst seats in the place, and the Malfoys make fun of them.
I didn't. Well,
Jason Isaacs specifically makes fun of them. Is his name Oscar Isaacs? What do you call him? The other guy's back. That kid's back now. What's his name? Tom Ridley? What's his name? The kid who golfs.
Malfoy.
Yeah,
yes.
Tom Malfoy. He's
back, baby.
I wonder if this show could ever be a medical device to be used for diagnosing something. Like you listen to this for 3 minutes and how you react and how violently and what happens.
I thought you meant people would diagnose us. Your version's even worse.
I like yours better.
And now
okay, I see. So we just start sending these out like 8x10s. And go, fix me.
Oh, interesting. Kind of like a.
Oh, God, I do not want to be diagnosed. I do not want to be diagnosed by strangers.
No, but like a what's it called? Not a product shot. Yeah.
8x10 glossy.
Yes.
And you see on the back, I know how to ride a horse. I can type. Mm-hmm. Sometimes I see people sitting in my kitchen. You write all that on the back. It's in bullets. It's called an unordered list.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about this. Who did I talk about this with? It might have been on the Todd episode of Rec Diffs. The things that people write on the back. Wasn't that the thing? You had an 8x10 glossy, right? You'd say, hello, I'm Ted Danson. And like, diddly-diddly-dee, and here's my things. Like, you have your little short version of your resume, but you always have bullets on the back. Wait a minute. Challenge. Design and construct. Okay, so right now I'm just thinking out loud, or as I sometimes incorrectly say, talking out loud. Although technically that is correct, but it's dumb. I'm thinking out loud. Here's the thing: design and create your own 8x10 glossy, something like that.
Yes, because that is
so it's a photo of you on the front
from a headshot, possibly on this part of the channel.
You're talking about Oswald?
No.
Back and to the left. One magic loogie.
Back and to the left. Mm-hmm. Back and to the left.
Yep. This is my rifle. This is my gun. This is for fighting. This is for fun. The most deadly thing in the world is a Marine and his weapon. I've named mine Charlene. There are many like it, but this one is mine. So I feel pretty good about that. I think that might be my new closing. So whenever I have absolutely no idea what we should return to, if anything.
Oh, there's so many. Well, you were talking, and I almost had a coherent thought.
Said it again
about what
you rhyme that middle. You rhyme that middle syllable with the fuzzy stuff on top of the head. You say coherent. Did you know that?
Coherent.
Yeah, you say that. Coherent. You say that.
Coherent.
Now this might be another problem with my intransitive accent where I hear things wrong.
Oh, it really took me a long time to be like fuzzy stuff on the top of the head. What the
fur?
Like
you call it your fur baby.
No, fur and hair different.
I know.
Very
I'm talking down by your Buy Us Menses.
Oh,
no.
That was good. You're getting a lot of
carpet in the drapes. Dun, 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 dun.
No. I think it is a compliment when someone
tries to diagnose you.
No.
I'm sorry, I talked to my mom this morning. I'm a little discombobulated.
Oh, I listened up to that part of the. I haven't finished an episode of Reconcilable Differences of what I think will be a very good episode of Reconcilable Differences. Your show with John Siracusa on.
Did you say that in a fake Chinese accent? Did you say reconcilable?
No. I mean, I might have, but not on purpose.
Good night, everybody. Just kidding. Okay, that's the end of the Chinese joke. Did it? Nailed it.
Okay, good. All right.
The Todd episode you're talking about?
No, but you mentioned a way that you were helping your mom that I really.
Oh yeah.
Yes,
and
yes.
I listen. Just to be clear, I get why he's saying that. I think he was a little taken aback. First, a little taken aback, and then extremely thought it was very silly that I defined his position as. I felt being slightly privileged.
I shouldn't have brought spoilers. People. Do
you see what I mean, though? Not everybody has the means.
I know. In
any variety of ways. Not everybody has the means.
We're moving. We'll talk about it when it comes out.
What's happening?
We're moving on. I haven't listened to the whole episode because I got emotional. I'll get to it later when it comes.
If I've ever been found guilty as charged of murdering someone, it's probably because they kept saying that. They either said you've got too much time on your hands, or must be nice for you, or we'll get to it. I will kill you.
I know, but I think it would be for a more interesting reason.
No. Mainly, I'm going to kill the blank check, guys. Because you've got to stop saying we'll get to it. No, they don't have to God. Now, I sound like the people who talk to me. That's
Wait,
the
I didn't
worst.
say. I just said moving on. It's worse, but at least kill me for saying moving on.
Must be nice.
Or
That's how we say congratulations on my family.
circling back,
Gary Goldman.
the Tom and Dom the Tom and Dom effect.
Are you the Tom or
where
the
you
Dom? I think you're the
suddenly-
Tom, right?
Yeah. No comment. Remember when you didn't talk about people?
I know, because you're cum gutters. You're a power historian.
No. I just
A bossy historian.
talked about.
Is that what you call it?
No. it's not-
Okay.
Seeing one of your favorite podcasters for I'm not talking about even in person, but seeing their
seeing
face.
what they actually look like. That they have
Is
a
there
face.
a term for that? Yeah,
that was the term. That was the term idea from quite a while back. Thank you.
I have decided, at least for me, it's kind of not a compliment, but it says something that you have such an intimate relationship.
In my head.
It's no. Yeah, because you think of that initially, and when you think, oh, you're nothing, you don't look like what I thought you'd look like. When I say that, well, one, it's awkward, so I don't say that anymore at all. But two, I realize that it is like, oh, this person I've had a very intimate parasocial relationship.
Because you know their voice, and you know to some extent their mind. Like you know this person even though you don't know them, and you know this person even though you don't even really know what they look like, or you don't know what they look like now.
Interesting?
No. I'm absolutely agreeing. It's completely fascinating that you could feel so intimate with somebody. Like, think about all the details of people's lives, like, you know about them, and like that would be creepy to even kind of talk about, but like you don't really know them. I mean, I guess that's the whole point of the parasocial thing.
This is what finally made me realize why I don't like most video podcasts or podcasts that are just happen to have a video, because that's what you do now. I really enjoyed that sort of not anonymity, but just
lack of a visual. Just isn't that it? I mean, there's no visual.
It lacks. I wouldn't even say it's lacking. It really, when you're just focused on how you sound to someone else, there's just a different sort of communication and a different way of artistically making it, which we've
differently. If that's your only way, if that's the only way you can communicate with somebody, you treat it differently than you would if there are other options.
Yes, it's weird and interesting, and I like it.
Yeah,
and
I totally
I'm
agree.
glad that I don't know what Tom and Dom look like, nor
I just sent you Mr. Weasley. Look at your text, please. Do you see? Can you see how I would look at that face and go, "What do I know this guy from?" Because he does kind of have he's Arthur, right? He's got a little bit of like a Bill kind of thing, but he also looks like a little bit like the number file guy.
He just looks so British too.
Yeah,
is he not even British? But I don't know.
Yeah.
But that I'm like, that is he both looks British and looks like a British documentarian. He's all
number file Brady, and I think the guy's name is James, and I love the episodes that he's on. James Maynard or Maynard.
Wait, I know that name.
Well, go look at his face and tell me, doesn't he look a little bit like the Arthur Weasley in this picture?
Oh, he does.
If you don't know who the Arthur Weasley in the room is, it's probably you. No, it's not James Maynard. That's not it. Oh, come on, he's the guy who's on like every fucking episode. What the fuck's his name? James. I thought his name was James. I could be wrong. Okay, here we go. See. Instead of fapping around, as you said.
Are you just doing the dingus?
I'm going to the dingus.
Yes.
And
But what if it's wrong?
Wait until you hear the next one. I guess that's the one you're listening to now. Who's the guy who's always on number file? Maybe James? Who's always on number file? Maybe James? Searching the web. I think his name's James. I think he's called James. Jamie Grime.
It's a confirmation bias, but I do think that
Jamie Grime.
Jamie Grime.
What a great name. James Grime.
James. Oh, that's really good.
But look for James Grime Young. Feet, net worth. Oh, look how cute he is. See, I'm going to send you this one. No, look. This is what I'm talking about. Hey, look at this. Look at this motherfucker. Like, look at this. Isn't this one, pardon me for the neologism, isn't that one Arthur Weasley, Arthur Weasley ass looking motherfucker?
And
look in your box. Look in your box.
Oh, yep. Oh, I mean, I don't do
Tobias
that
Menzies.
on this show. But
No, don't even. Come on.
I just like Tobias Menzies, and I want him to come back. I like. He's just a fun character in my head. I don't know. Now this is
well,
what
I could do a hat on a hat
because
because I think like I'm always saying, oh my god, was it you and I talking about something I said again recently about how you should only ever give one excuse for anything? Was it me and you, or was that Roderick? But yeah, I have this belief. Okay, so like, if you give an excuse for something, and especially if you know you're giving an excuse, give exactly one excuse and be unerring in what that excuse is. And the example that comes to mind for me is, I feel like there are people around who will say things like, they say like, "Oh, can you come to my bris tomorrow?" and somebody goes, "No, I'll be out of the country. Also, I'm sick." Which, given that's a bris tomorrow, bris today, gone tomorrow, literally.
Yes.
Moil. But what was I saying? I was talking about Fred Weasley. Who was I talking about?
The Arthur ass.
Oh, Arthur. Arthur ass. So I feel pretty good about that. So that is like, what is it? That is the like universal escape key. Like when you finally, like it's sort of like, you ever have people in your family, like old people, religious people, and they always kind of end with the same thing. Something like, well, I'll pray for you, or, bless your heart, or like whatever it is, but they'll have these certain things they say. I think a very awkward pause and then saying, I feel good about that. Is that the phrase? I feel good about that? I feel good about that? We'll workshop it.
I feel good about that.
James Grime is a very good name. Oh yeah, so hat on a hat. I could say Tobias, his name is Tobias Menzies. Now, do you know who that actor is?
No. No.
Okay, so if I were to say, did you watch The Crown?
Not the last two seasons.
So you watch Game of Thrones. He is Caitlyn's, he's the guy who's getting married at the Red Wedding, if that helps.
Oh,
that actor. Go look up Tobias Menzies. He's in everything. He's fucking great. And he does a really good Prince Philip in The Crown. His name is Tobias space Menzies, I believe.
I wasn't expecting a Z. That's
well, see, here's the thing. Now, if I say Tobias Menzies, and Syracuse could tell me if I'm hearing that pronunciation wrong. Menses. Now that's a hat. That's a one hat joke.
That's the first hat. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Title. But if I were to say, why are you going to the period store? Why am I going to the period store? Well, Tobias Menzies. See, that's a hat on a hat. Because you understand that's too many words that sound alike.
No, it's a feather.
Why are you going to the period store? To buy us Menses.
I heard it as A.
America's roast.
God.
Here's the thing.
I'd rather be known as the.
I'd rather have a bottle in front of me than a frontal lobotomy.
All right, that's.
Shake and shake the axolotl. None'll come and then a lottle. Remember hearing that about ketchup bottles? Do you know the trick for getting ketchup out of a bottle? Do you know the trick?
No.
Hit the 57. When you get ketchup?
I don't know. I don't get it. Hit the... literally, this is not a bit. I thought that was
the reason that is the thickness of, as my understanding, the thickness of ketchup is such that it is really kind of almost uniquely not suited for that particular shape of vessel because of its viscosity, its thickness. And so people go bloop and go, like you create an airlock, right? When you do it upside down. And you go to the side, you stick a knife in it like a fucking monster. You take a Heinz, you turn it, and you look for that little embossed, I assume it's still in the bottle, I don't care. But the trick is useful even if the analogy is no longer useful. You turn the bottle, So you're like about a 45-degree angle. And then with the side of your other hand that's not holding the bottle, you gently karate chop on the number 57 on the ketchup bottle, and the ketchup will come right out.
Thank you. That's something.
Now, this is the part
I'm
where you
glad
tell me
I
something
know.
insane like, I don't eat ketchup. Or you exhale.
Notice how I didn't open my mouth and say it's really funny that you think that I've ever.
What do we say to the ketchup
put-
bottle? Not today.
And I didn't comment that this is information that no one needs because
What do we say to the
catsup are now.
PTFE tubage? What do we say to the TPU? What do we say to the lactic acid that is used to form the PLA? What do we say?
Shane.
Not today.
Not or TP. Oh, I can't.
PT.
See, I can't get a TPU joke in. I
Music
wish
for
I
Our Mess
could.
Age. That is a terrible name for an album. So Public Enemy, right around, it was after Fight the Power, it was after Nation of Millions. I think their next record, it looked like it says it's music. It's so fucking stupid. It's so dumb on so many levels. I can't believe it passed any kind of muster. I got to make sure that I didn't hallucinate this. Okay, Public. This is.
Do they also? Do you do a 57 with that as well?
What do I mean?
Because pass mustard.
Oh, that was pretty
Get
good.
it?
You did a double
Get
condiment joke.
I
may
did,
or
yeah.
I may not.
Oh. I needed to put the bell away. It's not.
Oh, that was pretty saucy.
I'm giving.
Okay, all right.
This is the worst.
You're full of piss and
The
vinegar.
worst.
Huh?
The worst.
What? No, stop milking it.
No. You
That's
ruined it.
that's a kind of beverage. Let's see.
Oh, it is for oh God, what's the for Robin? It is, yeah.
What, Robin?
Num 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 num. The kid
frog?
from Game of Thrones. See, circling back.
No, that'd be cute. I think it would go a little something like this. You got Robin Aaron and the Knights of the Vale, but he's played by his little nephew.
Oh, I would. And,
Wouldn't he be a cute little Robin breastfeeding?
He would. Yeah, I
Getting
was gonna say.
nursies. Wouldn't that be cute?
I mean, I don't have any comparison, but it feels like his little mouth would be much
that would be
more
cute as hell.
pleasant than
That lady's also,
exactly.
you know, that actress. She's wonderful. She's wonderful in lots of things. You know, she's also in the Witch, the Robert Eggers movie. She plays Anya Taylor-Joy's mother in that. She's very good in that.
Is
and then
this
I also
the
saw
baby killer one. I have not.
Which baby killer one?
The witch.
It's the one with Ralph
A24
Ineson.
one.
You know, it's got Galactus. It's got Anya Taylor-Joy. It's by Robert Eggers, and it's about some people who are expelled from an early. Gosh, I feel really dumb. I'm pretty sure it's America, but they're kind of driven out of a puritanical community, and everybody thinks Anya Taylor-Joy is a witch, and it's really good.
And
it's
then
the movie.
she
It's
does
that movie she's
terrible
good in.
Okay. Okay, that's the one.
Hopefully that'll help.
Thank
Save you a lot
you.
of time. Cool clothes. Public Enemy, Bill Weasley. And you know what's funny is, Bill, we'll see, so Fred's one of the twins. Bill is Donald Gleason, right?
I think so.
His father's Mad Eye Moody in real life. This is known.
Shit. Oh.
You know Mad Eye Moody? The guy who's in all those...
Not
all those,
personally, but
yeah, right.
I saw him at
But
Macworld once.
hey, that ain't pumpkin juice. And you know who he gets married to on the show? He gets married to Fleur from the Beauxbatons. You know, the girls with the pretty hats and the birds. In the
I know
one?
who that is, but there's
And did you know that she's in Tenet?
Oh, yes. Yes.
Did you notice the
She's
backpack?
cute. Yes, I noticed the backpack because
All I
of
have
the
for you is
little
one
charm.
word.
That's the one
I think
thing
you're a little
in
charm.
It's the one thing in the movie that's
Nobody's gonna
obvious.
notice. There are so many people that hate this movie and didn't realize it, and then eventually turn into people who love this movie and they didn't realize it.
There's
You know, that whole movie was done practically. All practical effects. He's adamant. He doesn't even own a compuber.
okay. I
like
went
Elon Musk.
I tried. Oh, that
Christopher
was a really
Nolan.
funny story. Oh, no, that was. I'm not
headlines.
bringing up the headline, but it was really.
Have you tried avoiding headlines ever?
God, yes.
You ever tried to catch yourself being a headline person?
Yes.
You ever catch yourself being a Stevie Nicks lyrics person?
It's a slippery slope. I wouldn't feel good about that.
You want your freedom. Wow, wow, wow. And I was just watching a performance of that, and she said the line. I wrote it down here. I sound like Greg Davis. She said, I've written this down. Have you any dreams you'd like to sell? That song's 2 chords. It's an F and a G. And then yes, nerds, I know. And then on the chorus, it's like an F major 7th and like a G minor 6 or something. But it's almost the entire, there's one A minor that appears a couple times. Apart from that, All of Dreams by Fleetwood Mac is just boom, 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 boom. The whole thing is F and G.
I stopped myself from being a headline guy. You're welcome.
F and G what?
A minor.
Oh, A minor. That doesn't count as a headline. That's a great line. I love that line.
No, it's because Mr. Epstein is back in the news.
So it's not funny.
My boys.
I see. It's not particularly appropriate and definitely not especially funny. Huh. Why do you think Mike Johnson?
It's not funny. It's a headline. It's not a joke.
Why do you think Mike Johnson is saying what he's saying? What the fuck's up? Why
I don't know because I'm avoiding. I'm not avoiding.
That's not accurate. No. The problem is you. The problem, if I could say, is that you will consume whatever is shoved into your face.
That's not true. That's not true.
That is the response of a confident person.
Well, based on the videos.
Hayes for Horses Nester.
Watching.
Got to write that one down. Hayes for Horses Nester. I got to source that. That's one of my mystery memories. It's a book, and somebody keeps saying Hayes for Horses Nester. It's a children's book. If you know, write to Alex. It really helps people discover this show. Hayes
Thank you. Thanks for the nice email.
Okay, what else? I think that's all the big stuff. Let me see if I have anything else in my notes here. I didn't really do the challenge. I don't think it's interesting.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, no. I'm here to listen to you talk about it, though.
Good.
I do. I have things to say about my body. I got stalled when I couldn't find the word last week. I couldn't find the word for what it is we're talking about, and I got stalled on that. And I think I got a lot of other stuff done.
Stand like a superhero. The word of superhero.
So when you're spraying science sauce on this idea, and we'll dig into this in a second. When you're spraying science sauce on this idea of doing a superhero pose, it's related to. No matter what I say, I'm going to be in trouble. A scientific or scientific adjacent or pseudoscientific idea of it's related to kineticism. It has to do with your body and proprioception and perception. Oh, it's interesting. Proprioception, perception. Because with proprioception, you're perceiving where your parts of your body are in 3 dimensions. Mm-hmm. Did you know that? You know that term?
Yes.
My wife talks about it because if you there's these kinds of, she used to have an ankle injury that had a proprioception problem.
Oh,
anyways,
shit.
What was the goddamn name of that phenomenon? Try digging into it and you talk, and then I'll go find this word.
Proprioception.
Okay. Proprioception?
If you repropriocepted something,
I've been watching a New Zealand spelling bee show. Challenge this week's make a superhero pose. You talk while I find this.
Yeah, make a superhero pose in like a
describe what I didn't do any way you want.
Like no, wait, what did you say?
There was a big buzz a few years back about this idea of something that I thought was mostly just interesting and funny, and people were trying it, and the idea was like, I mean, okay, Alex, sorry, spoiler. Why do we look for the chimneys, Alex?
Mm-hmm.
Well, no. Answer the question. Why do we look for the chimneys? Why do we look for the chimneys? Because what changes when we look for the chimneys? Something we don't need to be doing. We don't need to be finding. I think we look up. Mm-hmm. I think we unintentionally hold ourselves erect a little bit more, but mainly, if nothing else, we are looking up rather than looking in any other direction. And the first time you do it, you're going to realize how insane you feel when you follow Alex and Merlin's advice to look for the chimneys. If you go out and look for the chimneys. Why would I do that? Well, the idea is you're just going to start looking for chimneys. Everywhere you're walking, the main thing you're looking for is chimneys. Okay? But what does that do? I mean, I'm spoiling it because dumb fucking idiots who hear this and don't do it are never going to do it anyway. It's like spoilers. If you cared, you already would have done this. You look up and you suddenly realize how weird it feels to walk down the street while you're looking up. I'll bet you dimes to donuts, every fucking one of you pieces of shit. I bet you almost never, if you spend 2 city blocks looking for the chimneys, you're going to notice something about yourself. I can pretty much promise you. You bump into people. No. You realize that your perception from day to day, from moment to moment, tends to have you looking almost anywhere but up. Up is where the sun is. Up is where the sky is. Up is where the leaves are. Up is where the chimneys are. And when you look up, something starts to change. I can't speak for Alex, but one reason I'm giving you folks this advice is I find that if I spend even a small amount of time doing nothing but looking for the chimneys, I feel it is difficult for me not to feel my mood being elevated. And it's the weirdest fucking thing in the world. And why am I telling you that? I'm telling you all because I don't know. I can guess how it works. What I can tell you is for me, it works. But it comes down, don't you think, comes down to a change in perception? Talk about looking for the chimneys. You've done this.
Hold on. Why do you think it's weird?
Why is that interesting?
Because
can't you just be positive with me and keep this moving forward as a topic?
I am moving forward. Because
what would be better for you today if I tell you why I think that's weird?
Because the response to this phenomenon, we'll never know how to word the word. The response to
That's the Muppets.
Boy.
That's from the Muppets.
I know. That's why I can't say phenomena, because I don't know how to say it without the puppet. It's
maybe you could sing
sorry,
it. Phenomena.
I first came across this from
the reason I
Grey's
say that
Anatomy.
is because it's one of those dumb fucking, in my class of like Merlin suggestions. Did I start doing this thing because I thought it was cool? X thing, not just chimneys, but like lots of things. Trying to be a kind person. Like there's just a whole bunch of shit. Like, did I arrive at that because I had a grand plan? Nope. I arrived at that because for a really fucking long time, I practiced, I tended to deal in easy anti-patterns that made my life worse. Instead of finding patterns that could make your life better. Hey, when I do this thing, is this going to get me closer to being the person I want to be or further away? And when I say to you, person out there who's extremely fucking depressed and just looking at the internet all day and being sad and not listening to any Bach in a year, like when's the last time that you like sat down and just listened to music? Well, you can't because you got problems and the world's difficult. Okay. Anything we can do about that? Not really. Okay. You ever try looking for the chimneys? No. Okay. Well, here's a paper. I'm going to give you a paper on this, and this explains how there are patterns. There are patterns to the way leaves and grass operate that stimulate dopamine. So being around trees tends to help alleviate symptoms of ADHD. There's a lot of pretty good scholarship about how exposure to the sun, especially at certain times of day and certain times of the year, can have a huge. I could do that all day long, all fucking day long. I could make up I could be like ChatGPT. I could just make up a bunch of fucking scholarship about it, even though it is actually true. But that's not the point I want to make. The point I don't need help from people making, is if you have half a brain, go look for the chimneys, and you'll find out why it's a good idea. I could explain it to you. I could explain to you why this particular version of the fifth Goldberg variation is distinct from both of Glenn Gould's, from all of who's Jacqueline Dupre's husband, Daniel Barenboim's. I could describe all fucking day long how this 3-minute long piece of music is unique amongst Goldberg variation performances for all kinds of reasons, and you still wouldn't listen to it. And here's the thing. All you have to do is listen to it. And you'll never need my explanation. The explanation is to just try and get past that dumb fucking gatekeeper that tells you everything is bad and you know everything you need to know. Why do you look for the chimneys? Try it and you'll see. Is it harmful? I might bump into somebody. Yeah, you already did that joke and it wasn't funny then. Look for the chimneys because you'll discover you can go retcon that with all sorts of fucking neurological shovelware about like why it works. I'm just here to tell you, try it. I have found that looking for the chimneys in particular was just one. I don't do it all day, but that's one of like 1,000 things that help me that helps me be alive and be a person. Because looking for the chimneys causes a change in perception and changes what I'm paying attention to. And those kinds of things can be really valuable to you. So in the interest of that sort of dumb bullshit, that means a lot to me. I heard about this thing people were doing a few years ago where supposedly, I don't care if this is right, and I'm not going to look it up, but supposedly what people were saying was, hey, you know how like you see like the George Reeves Superman? I should find that for show art. But if you like my canonical childhood Superman was a 50s TV series, I think called The Adventures of Superman. But anyway, starring George Reeves, and he was my Superman. And at the beginning, it's black and white, and it's all the classic stuff, like the Fleischer brothers. You know, it's like him up there with his, if memory serves, his chest is real puffed up. He kind of looks like he might have emphysema. I don't know if they have that on Krypton, but he's got his hands and fists on his hips, and his chin's jutting up. Sorry, I was off mic. But and your chest, and like you're standing up straight, and like a superhero does. And supposedly people were saying if you do a superhero pose, it does stuff for your body and makes you feel more confident, and it's a good way to get pumped up if you're feeling down, and if there's something you got to do. What's that girl's name? Who's that woman I like? Abigail? Emmy? Who's the one on Grey's? Abby?
Amy, yes.
You sent me a video of the girl I have a crush on Grey's Anatomy doing it. And doesn't she in the clip you sent actually talk about doing a superhero pose?
Yep, and she references all of the studies that were going around the neurological shovelware that I
hissing you here. That's not a noise floor. That's actually just science spray being deployed. In Shondaland, have you seen the science spray in Shondaland? Don't get it on your face if you can.
I really
I read something in NPR about this.
Ooh.
Sorry, that's the science spray.
Oh my god, that noise. Oh, it's the Harry Potter snake again.
And so the challenge this week was to do something with the superhero pose. Because my angle on this is I love shit like this, and a la looking for the chimneys. But I also, as I've said several times, and Merlin, I would love to be alternately stretched and crushed by some kind of professional. I think my body needs to be stretched, and I think my body needs to be crushed. I don't want to be crushed completely by stones. I'm not heretical. This is not the 15th century. Do you know about that kind of death? You know about that kind of death, being crushed by stones? Do you know about that? You go in a public square, and they put a rock on you. They put a really heavy rock on you, and they wait a while, and then they put another heavy rock on you. And they keep putting more and more heavy rocks on you one at a time. No, it's like, well, you know about it.
It's like the sequel to the lottery. What the fuck? I didn't know.
It's very Crucible. I think it's kind of Crucible adjacent. And so I think stuff, well, like here's another thing. Okay, like just real quick. Like, there's a line that I use and quote constantly, and I haven't bothered to go back and look it up to make sure if I'm getting it exactly right. But there's a line from the movie Red Dawn, which is a mid-'80s movie about the Russians invading the U.S. and some high school students fighting back. I think it might have C. Thomas Howell in it. But at one point, they're trying to get a truck to work because they need to get out. Like I think it's like the track team or something is going to go fight the Russians. And anyway, they're trying to get this truck working, and blah 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 blah. And he goes, "Have you tried this? And have you tried this?" And the guy goes, "I'd piss on a spark plug if I thought it'd do any good." And that's how I feel about my posture. I would piss on a spark plug if I thought it would do any good. There's nothing that can change about my posture that will make it worse. I will take not my posture, but my general carriage. Like if I'm walking down the street, Alex, looking for the chimneys, I will sometimes concurrently think, hey buddy, stand up just a little bit straighter. And I stand up just a little bit straighter. I feel 3 inches taller and 6% better than I did a second ago. I'm not even saying I'm sad, but I suddenly go, because guess what? I think I can also probably breathe a little better. And so the way I left this was, I'm still going to go find the name of what this thing's called, but I was also just intrigued by the double turns out of like, well, there's blah, blah, then there's the turns out of the superhero pose. Then there's, I guess this is technically a double turns out because we don't start with 0. You've got the turns out of superhero poses are good. Then you got the turns out of, turns out superhero poses are actually a bunch of bullshit. And then the double turns out, as I understand it, is there's not overwhelming evidence that superhero pose type things will help you, but diminishing your body and making yourself small does appear to have an impact. Did you get that?
Yes.
Okay,
That's
talk about this.
the decade of it's going to sound passive aggressive if I ask, "Are you done?" Which is not how I mean it.
No, I'm done. I just
But
wanted to. Sorry, just wanted to say it.
yes, I came across,
You seem like you didn't want to talk about it, and then when you don't,
No,
when
I
it seems like you were going to
I
dither about it, I feel like I need to
wasn't
have something.
dithering. That's a show from. That's the Gruber show. That's expensive. The reason I came to this, I think, was because last week we were talking specifically about looking for the chimneys, and I'm pretty sure you said this to me almost like off mic when I don't even know, having a bad day and unable to concentrate on anything except that bad day. And you're just like, look for the chimneys. And because I will piss on any spark plug to change most things, it's like, oh, okay, I'll do it.
You'll bring your own bottle.
Yes,
I
exactly.
got extra just in case.
I've got
You got
my
a spark
STP
plug, I got the
for
pee.
sparks.
Let's fix this world now, you and me. Monorail.
And so Monorail.
What's it spell?
Monorail.
Not on your life, my Hindu friend.
Already, should I wait?
You'll
for
all be
more?
given cushy jobs.
No, I don't.
Lynn came off my pudding cup.
And I don't worry, everybody. Hello,
worry.
I'm talking to you now. Merlin got to talk to you. No, I'm talking to you. I did ask a million follow-up questions, but when someone says that something might help, I'm like, yep, we'll piss on
Do
that.
you have an Adderall today?
And no, should
Okay.
I?
Keep going.
The
I'm gonna hit mute and make a coffee so I don't interrupt you.
Oh my god! I tried it and was like, oh yes, absolutely. This made me feel, I think, more than 6% better because I just, my ears were no longer trying to touch my shoulders, and I was just like, look at my shoulders are not just down but back because I am trying to look up. My neck is extended, and when I looked up, my neck didn't just extend, but I realized there's a bunch of tension in my neck, so I cracked it. Oh, like I am now. Oh, and it felt so much better.
Doesn't that feel insane? That's part of one of my numerous going to. Well, I mean, surprising? I don't know. When I'm going to sleep at night and I incline myself, I don't make myself. That's a nice coffee, believe it or not. That's squeaking in here. No, but like where I'll say, hey, bud, just so you know, you're probably still unintentionally propping up your body more than you realize. That's the way I would put it. You know what I mean? Like you define it as like stiffness or like, tension or whatever. But for me, those are the effects of what I realize is me in an unintentionally protective shell in some ways. And the thing that I tell myself, and I'm getting better at this, I'm happy to say, as I've gotten better at sleep, is I'll say to myself, you can do a little more. You can do a little more. Like you could, not make, again, it's so critical, you guys. You can't make yourself feel better about anything. Otherwise, you'd already be fine. You can't make yourself do fucking anything. Any more than I can make you understand, quit being such a sad sack. But I'll say, I'll do this weird thing. It's almost impossible. Imagine mentally you're laying down, you're, what would that be? Prone? Supine? Prone? Supine. And imagine without pressing with your hands, imagine your breastplate pushing down on your rib cage, but you're not really pushing it. It's just moving down. I discovered this a few years ago. Okay. I've never told anybody this, but this is part of my process. When I feel like I'm probably kind of mostly relaxed enough, I've got like 5 phases of falling asleep. Like one of them is, here's run around, racy thoughts time. And we say, okay, guys, run around, tire yourselves out. Got to have racy thoughts time. And sometimes a couple more things happen. I could write this all down. I have a process. It's helped me so much. One of them is I notice my kind of clavicle breastplate area pushing down a little bit, and I'll feel a subtle crack in my back in a good way, as in a relief, like a chiropractic kind of crack, just the tiniest little and depending on how big that crack is, I can often know. I hate the way I put that. Depending on how much I notice that cracking feeling, I will know how far along I am toward the relaxation. But then a funny thing happens. I realize I can relax more, and I realize I can get softer. And then sometimes I realize I've had a regression, and I was a little bit relaxed in this. I love your shoulder and ears thing because I'm the same way. I really feel like when I catch myself, my shoulders are getting closer to my ears than they should be. I don't think I look crazy or anything, but you know what I mean? And but then I'll find, oh my God, wait a minute. And like magic sometimes. This happened to me the other night. I was laying on my side and I felt myself almost rolling to one side a little bit because I'd been unintentionally, completely unconsciously tensing up my back and other big muscle groups in a way that would keep me kind of turned one certain way. And I didn't even realize I was you can always go 2 or 3 levels deeper in relaxation. And once you realize that, and it hopefully isn't as stressful, it's such a big deal, And I know what you mean though about the pissing on the spark plug. Did you really? You went out and you did it, and did you get that? Oh, you dingling feeling oh, you always could do this.
Yes, but
not in a bad way, but in kind of a sweet way, a chuck on the shoulder kind of way. You can do this.
Well, it was the you could always do this, but I immediately when I thought, oh, you could always do this, I had the unhealthy thought of oh, you dumb bitch, what the fuck is wrong with you? But because I was looking at the chimneys, it's
also a great place for the chicken voice to come in. Just very gentle chicken voice going, wow, you seem pretty stressed out for somebody who doesn't have problems.
Yep. And
then you want us to just stop doing that? And it's oh, fuck, it's not. Well, this is actually not making me that happy to be this way. I swear to God. If I had a choice, I would not be how I am. I bought your shirt, and I think I might be wearing it now. Let me look. Wait, no, I'm sorry. I'm wearing the X-Men shirt. But I do have your.
Good
what is
shirt.
it? It's in my. I'm sorry. I'm like this.
I'm sorry. I'm like this.
I love that shirt because I am. I mean, I'm not really sorry, but I'm not sorry, but I'm regretful.
That's a lot to unpack after.
Well, it's one of the reasons people should stop apologizing all the time, unless it's what you really mean. An apology is best reserved for something where you say, "Hey, I did something earlier." There's several parts to a good apology. You have to express that it happened, that it is your fault, and that you regret it and want to make amends. And then optionally fourth, you could say, I hope you can accept this apology and we can heal this rift between us. But to say oh, I'm sorry, you didn't know that Bill Weasley had, that's a good word. It's a word like law. Like I said in the document, if you never say that something you've mislaid is lost. Lost is a special word. Mislaid is when you can't find something. Something could be mislaid for 80 years, but it's not lost. Something you've dropped into the ocean is probably lost. So save it for things like that. In French. In French, they got different goodbyes. Well, they also have the French goodbye and the Irish goodbye and the French exit. But you could, but you got until we meet again. Versus, you got goodbye, farewell, and they all mean different things. And in America, we don't do that as much. It's kind of a dinner and supper situation. You know what I mean? When you say goodbye to somebody in other languages, that means I'll never see you again. And when you say smell you later, that means, well, obviously, later on I'll smell you.
What's something that you've mislaid versus something you've lost? Because I can understand it. I'm like, oh, yes, I have lost my phone at the bottom of the ocean versus I've mislaid my phone and it's definitely the cat brought it under the couch.
It's probably not, I think it's a useful distinction on a couple levels. The second level that nobody should care about because they're not me is, I think sometimes it's nice to keep words special and to just in general try to use them correctly, but also, it's existentially different. So, oh man, I have so many things I want to tell people about that I have nowhere to tell.
That's the thing. Mislaid versus lost is 3 hours versus.
No, it's not. It's pretty quick. Where I came in from bringing in the trash cans and I'm a good doobie, right? So I put my remote and my keys and my wallet into the bowl. And then I went to the kitchen because I wanted to check on the progress of the ice maker that I just fixed. And I didn't know where my phone was. And I'm looking around and I know how to do the thing with my watch, but just as a prophylactic, against, dementia and madness, I try to remember things on my own first. And I eventually realized,
Must be nice.
this is all, it must be nice. Congratulations to my family. This is all in the document, by the way. First of all, always put your shit in a bowl because you're dumb to put it anywhere else. But also, don't say something is lost if it's actually mislaid. But then also, like, you can gently find yourself doing things rather than like yelling at yourself about things. These are all really good things. And so I wandered over to the bowl and my phone was there. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So if I'd said my phone was lost, I think that's inaccurate. I think my phone was just not where I thought it should be. Oh, sorry. Fourth one. When you look for things, look for them where they're not supposed to be rather than where they are supposed to be. Because if they were where they're supposed to be, they wouldn't be lost. Do you think these are good? Tell me they're good.
They're good, and I am trying not to frustrate myself because I know that people read the wisdom document and think it.
I think I've written 3 of those. I think if I've written 3 of those, it would be good. But I got like 11,000 words of that, and I think a lot of them are pretty good. I like the way they're written. They make me very happy, and I hope they make other people happy. I'm working on projects. That was mislaid versus lost. Whereas, I mean, not to be morose about it, I think my father's lost. Mm-hmm. I lost my father. I didn't mislay my father. My mom might have mislaid him at some point, but that's their problem, not mine. I think I'm kind of going into a little bit of duck soup mode today. Did you ever end up watching that movie?
No,
Did you ever get off my
I
plugs?
prefer experiencing it through you, I think, at this point.
It was all done practically.
I
heard you were done practically.
Hold on. When I was
You
angry,
mislaid this argument.
when I was immediately upset with myself and the chicken voice came with, oh God, I don't know how the chickens come. Is a laying an egg like a chicken coming? I don't know. All right. I was looking at the chimneys and like, oh my God, you're so dumb bitch. This is so easy. Why wouldn't you even think of that?
I don't think we say that anymore.
I immediately felt, you
need to check your
dumb
language.
asshole. And then
You're a dumbass. You're a dumbass bitch.
Because my neck was in, I was looking up and my neck was in a slightly different place. I could feel myself tightening up and then was like, oh, that's a bad feeling. That's not helpful at all. And, just focused more on the chimneys and instead felt grateful that someone decided to be like, hey, you stupid bitch, look at the chimneys. And
but that was you, right? I mean, that was inside of you.
But
came up with
I was lucky enough that someone was like, "Hey, this is a thing that helps," and then I felt
who did that?
You
fuck.
did.
Okay, thank you. Sorry.
And then I was like, "Okay,
That was awful.
yeah, I know." And then it's
Hey.
and then instead of like,
I did that.
What? It's like, oh, you've realized this thing.
Thank you for saying that, Alex. I appreciate that.
You meant this thing that you thought was so simple, and you're angry that you didn't think of it before. Yeah. How many people are not yet looking at the chimneys? And that's a great thing that you can now also share with other people. And with the whole Superman pose, maybe it's because it was because it's been over a decade since that's been a pop science neurological. It's been the neurological shovelware of how you're supposed to get ready for job interviews.
I wonder if it's in the class of what I might want to call science snacks with an X. It's been a while since it's been one of the great science snacks. Did it feel silly to do?
No.
I just feel like the benefits that I get from that would probably just be even greatly enhanced by being crushed and stretched by people. I need some stretching and crushing. I do it sometimes. I just stand in the doorway and stretch. I just stretch while I'm watching TV. Did you see that article about how men and dads stand to watch TV?
No.
Oh, my family thought it was the funniest fucking thing in the world. When I get really worked up, like we're in, for example, S24, I think right now of Mindhunter, and which is one of my all-time favorite things. And I definitely get involved in shows like that. Contra what people might think about the cliche of how I watch TV. I get crazy involved in stuff like that, where sometimes even like I've got to like get out of the room. like when they're describing, like I can't be in the room, but I'll be like standing and kind of like milling around, and I'll stand in the doorway between the kitchen and the lounge, and like, okay, so imagine me standing in the doorway, and my two hands are up, palms out at about shoulder level, right? You can even hear my voice probably sounding different, right?
Yep.
I put that into the frame of the door, kind of push myself forward, do that a little bit, and then I'll reach up and I'll grab the door frame, and I'm not going to hang from it, but I kind of pull down as I push forward, and I make this noise. Oh.
Oh, yeah, that is a noise.
I make like a Gene Wilder in The Producer's noise. I fell in my keys. And I'm like, oh man, there is so much opportunity here. I was about to use a word that I don't really know, like kinesthetic. I don't know if that's a fucking word. I'm already saying implastic, which I think is not a word. But anyway, I may be making up words. Look at me, I'm Gen X. Ah. And the pushing though, and I'll be like, so like when I do anything like what I imagine is Superman stuff, first of all, I realize my posture's fucking stupid. Remember we bought the dingus for doing posture and it buzzes you? Remember that? Did we do that, or was that just me? Was that just me?
That was just, that was, I didn't know you did
I'm the only
that.
one who got that challenge. Okay. I'm the only one, the Mike Wozniak. I'm the only one who had the task to fart. Yeah.
Did that really happen on Taskmaster?
Yeah, there's a funny thing that they do. Like,
Aw.
you'll see it pretty, like they do, pretty much every season. But I don't know. I'm going to keep selling this show. I don't care. It's made me so happy. I've seen it make other people happy, and then it makes me happy when I am expressly contacted several times a day from people who are like, I'm so happy that you made me happy by making my family happy by telling me about this show. So
Yes,
don't expect it.
feeling.
Don't expect it to end anytime soon. But they'll do a really funny thing where sometimes, especially from some of the, some characters are bigger than others, as Morrissey says. But like there'll be a character who's especially funny or cheeky, or especially I think people who are like kind of like friends with Greg, somebody like Rod Gilbert, or I think they might have done this to James A. Caster. But there's one where the wonderful Mike Wozniak was given a challenge. He got on a small, like, private plane. Well, and the way it works, right? Like, you see all five of them alternately, like how they enter the scene where the task is, right? You know what I'm talking about? All we see is Mike
Merlin, what's the log line for Taskmaster?
Taskmaster is a show that started in the UK, and it's where five comedians compete to do various tasks to be awarded mostly like useless prizes and points. But it's mainly an opportunity. It's a joke machine, right? It's just a chance for jokes, and you'll never be able to watch Survivor again after you've watched it. After you watch this show where they've never done the same task twice in dozens of seasons.
Like 15 years.
Well, that's just of the main show. Alex still writes every challenge for every show.
That's insane.
Like he writes the New Zealand challenges
too. He's a beast.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I think so. I think I'm not positive of that. But anyway, and then the comedians do that. So, but they do the. Once you get into this show, it's really worth getting into the behind the scenes stuff because it's fascinating the way this show is made. Really fascinating. But they'll give you a task and they'll go like five people. It's a
producer's dream to watch how
and it's just the production design, the set dressing, everything about this show. The more you watch it, if you got half a fucking brain, you watch it and go like, this incredibly stupid, smart show is put together in an alarmingly clever way. Where you're like, wait a minute, so were all these five comedians just living in that house? No, this happened over like a year. Sometimes it's pissing rain. Sometimes it's snowing. Anyway, you get a task. Sometimes it's a pre-shot like video task at the Taskmaster house. Anyway, Mike Wozniak, this is not funny now. Mike Wozniak has to get on a plane. He reads the task, and the task is this: fart. He has to fart. So that's the task. And he's talking, but he's very, very funny. He always wears a suit with a tie, and he's got this great bushy beard. And anyway, it turns out it's one of the times that they gave a task just to one contestant, and then made everybody watched it and was like, wait a minute, it's really funny. They had to do some terrible or ridiculous thing that nobody, even worse than usual. Mike Wozniak, he ends up on his back with his legs on the air. He's bent over he's trying so hard to make himself fart, and he can't make himself fart. Anyway, the result of what happens is very funny, and he realizes that everything down there.
His pants. I think it's
Have
really
you
funny
have you watched the
when
bit?
people. No, I haven't.
Oh, we're gonna watch it. Then we'll watch it in a second.
All right,
And it's an absolute casserole.
No, after show.
Absolute. Why is it? Why after show?
I have words to say about the superhero pose because it. After the Grey's Anatomy, yes, if you do the superhero pose, you'll be more confident and you won't kill someone in surgery. I went and
can you imagine the stress of having Christina Ricci come in with a bomb in her and you got to operate on her to remove a bomb? Christina Ricci?
Just having
She's so little. I bet
wait,
the anesthesia's
Christina
hard.
Ricci? No,
Christina Ricci has to have a bomb removed from her.
I forgot she was in that. Oh,
she's an EMT.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Remember, she's got a bomb in her.
Yeah, and
you think Frida Kahlo had it rough?
Coach.
Woof.
The Amy Cuddy, who's one of the I don't want to call her a science
skinny face?
person.
Is she the skinny faced one?
Sure.
No, which one is she? Oh no, Amelia. You're talking about the one I like, the girl.
No, I am talking about the person who popularized the concept of stand like a superhero. She's the one who did all of the studies. No, she's not on Grey's Anatomy at all, unfortunately. Maybe fortunately. And she gave the famous TED Talk when people still thought it was cool to watch TED Talks.
Okay, all right.
But no, listen. And
I am listening, Alex. I am listening. I am listening. You are swerving all over the road, and I'm trying hard to figure out how we get out of 1 hour and 32 minutes.
No, Amy Cuddy gave the presentation about how if you stand like a superhero, it helps you for all of these reasons. You can be on a date. You can. I'm so mad that now I am swerving. She's like, listen, you don't need to do this all the time, but if you just stand in a way that makes you feel powerful,
right? Like as needed.
No, not not as needed, but you don't need to do it in the moment. You just, if you do it, she goes into how it's going to raise your testosterone and your cortisol levels so that you're both confident and relaxed and all of this stuff that I don't care about. A lot of it was disproven because also testosterone doesn't really work like that. And it's whatever. But she goes briefly into an actual vulnerable moment of this helped me because when I was in college, I had this really traumatic accident and I was in a coma and I woke up and they told me that I had dropped. What a fucked up thing to say, but hello, you are welcome out of your coma. By the way, you should drop out of college because you've lost 50 intelligence points, which I get called it intelligence points because that's what an IQ is. It's fake. But it was 2012 and it was a TED Talk and she's like, yeah, my IQ was lowered and what was taken away from me was my entire sense of self. I was the smart kid now I was it took me 4 extra years.
The thing that you always figured might be the thing that makes you special is now uncontrovertibly no longer a thing you have.
Yeah.
That's rough.
And her whole thing was just, she's a social scientist, what I still don't know what that means, and wanted to figure out basically, okay, how do we actually measure getting over imposter syndrome? And the test of if you stand like a superhero didn't really hold, not obviously, I guess, but if you do one of these social experiments of whether or not you're more confident about gambling if you stand like a superhero 5 minutes beforehand, it's just all over the map. But
so it's all that bullshit?
Consistent. Well, but here is the turns out of the turns out.
You're saying it's a quintuple turns out.
It's like a quintuple turns out because they would, by they, I mean her and her science buddies, and the people who tried to replicate the study always would take blood samples before and after. And there wasn't a direct correlation between anyone except that everyone's changed in a way that you wouldn't, it wouldn't change unless you were specifically thinking or standing in a certain way. Like, as in, unless you were trying to be mindful about your body and emotions at the same time. And that's essentially what this and looking at the chimneys or prone, whatever you said, where you're doing something with your body. And it's just like, okay, mindfulness does have in some of the people an extreme impact on how you behave. And the when this sort of like died out, there were more studies that, again, I honestly don't care, because the one thing that seems true of almost everyone is whatever your way of sitting or standing or perceiving yourself is, like, it is a real thing that can give you real results.
The superhero thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
And for some people, it was also just sitting with their legs spread out. That
so maybe it's not the specific pose.
It isn't.
But
It is just
it could be
the mind.
that.
Yeah, it's whatever. It's however you are presenting yourself in a way that makes you feel confident and powerful, which sort of leads to like, what is confidence in itself. And that, I find that way more interesting, because the looking at the chimneys thing isn't necessarily a here's a way to, or at least how you've presented it to me and how I feel isn't I am more confident, but it is more I am more mindful, and also I will not beat myself up as much, and I do feel a little bit happier. In the same way, some people who stand like Superman in a bathroom stall, that's always her story about standing like a superhero in the bathroom stall before a job interview. Like, if that helps, and
Was she playing music or anything?
What if it's the Game of Thrones theme and you're like doing an Oberyn Martell, like, how did Pedro Pascal do his little stance, like his little sexy stance?
You killed my sister.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do they call him? The Viper, the Scorpion? They call him something.
So I don't know.
I like
but
that.
It's
I think I roughly understand what you're talking about, and I think that's insightful.
The end. That's all I.
Because sometimes, I mean, and really, that's not so different. Well,
you and I.
That's not so different, you and I, from the. Sorry, I probably mispronounced that. But the then the chimneys part, just in the sense of like, I don't know. I find these things very difficult. You know what? Can I suggest how we close? You know how we close? We close by recommending that Ezra Klein podcast episode.
Mm-hmm. Which
and the way that guy talks about, it
pulled all of my week of reading about this shit together.
But the way that guy talks, he gets into something that is, you know why it's hard to talk about things that are hard to talk about? It's hard to talk about things that are hard to talk about because it's hard to talk about things that are hard to talk about. And that's the only reason why it's difficult. Sometimes the words that we use, the frames that we give, there's a reason that, like, poetry is different than prose. There's a lot going on. There's a lot of breathing space in a piece of verse that may not be there in prose. And like, I have to admit that to my peril, increasingly in life, that is very much how I approach life. It's where it's like, I'm so drawn to, I'm not trying to sound like a typical hippie or druggie or something. Like, I don't mean to sound like too like head in the clouds, where like, I'm not talking about like necessarily things like out of body experiences or astral projection or manifesting. I'm not talking about any of that kind of magical thinking, but there is so much to the human experience that changes when we try to put words to it. I'm not saying don't talk about things that are difficult. I'm not, follow me here. Like, the reason a joke is funny is because you deliberately wrote it to be funny in a certain way. And like a joke is not an explanation. And like a piece of music is not a house. And a website is not a person. And there's all these things where like there are so many vivid ways to like engage the rational part of your mind around a concept. And that's why, I mean, like there's one side of me that is that guy who goes, you know, I think costly and expensive mean different things in my head. I don't know if I'm using the words correctly, but I know I'm using the concepts correctly. And that's what I ultimately care about. Is that frustrating that I'm a word guy that sometimes gets words wrong? I don't care. I mean, I'm exploring those kinds of concepts, but here's the thing. There's also this quiet internal part of us that really appreciates making the connections on our own. And like, in the same way that I got out of the productivity racket because I realized that the lust for tips was leading people to want to find tips. And by giving them tips was temporarily slaking that thirst. But it became very clear to me that it was not really helping that many people. And why is that? Well, there's probably tons of reasons. But the one that I arrived at and the one that was instrumental was realizing that there's a lot of stuff that happens in our internal world, and for that matter, I guess our external world. But there's a lot of stuff where, you ever heard me use that dumb thing I say, Alex, where I say, well, it's one thing to know something, and it's another thing to really know it.
Yes.
Like it's one thing, let's take the biggest one. It's one thing to think about death and face death. And it's another thing to be dying right this minute. They're very different. Mm-hmm. And in that liminal space, there's also a space then where you are mostly pretty fine, but you are definitely going to die. If you don't think there's a difference, boy, there's a big difference. And that's on a real big issue. But there's so much easily crushable subtlety to our human psyche ability to make connections between things that is so easily crushed by being over-explained. You crush the bunny. And like, I have to say, this is an insight of mine that is helping me hopefully develop a more wholesome understanding of why I sometimes have trouble communicating with other people, like online, in addition to 70 other reasons. But one of them is like, of course I could explain this to you, but then that wouldn't be what I'm doing. Right? I mean, like, if you don't like pumping gas, don't start a chain of gas stations. If you don't like the subtlety and ineffable sublime qualities of art, just keep scarfing down those headlines, because you'll never even be able to see it. It's all going to seem so dumb. And I think all of that ineffability extends into our own interior world, where there's certain kinds of things that are just a little bit special and I don't want to give a name to, you know? But then when we try and articulate them to other people, we sound weird, or we sound like a creep, or we sound like, I find myself saying the dumbest fucking things in the world. We're watching Gilded Age, and I'm like, my God, I love her face. And when I say that, it sounds like I'm trying to hit on little Gladys, and I'm not. What I'm saying is there's an ineffable quality to her face. Could I say that she looks a little bit like a Modigliani painting? I absolutely could. Should I describe it as being slightly more oval shaped as a face? Could I describe her face as having like a puckish sadness to it? These are all things that I could do. Instead, all I can really say is, I really love her face. And I could do 5 pages on this, a lot faster than most of you. I could write this up in incredible amounts of detail, but what I really want to say is I love her face. And if you look at her face long enough, you might love it too. But I can't persuade you to love someone's face. And I'm certainly not going to persuade you to look at the chimneys by explaining how fireplaces work. They're heavily related, and they're very connected, but they're very different things. That chimney is not there for me to build a fire in. That chimney is there for me to look for. And I sometimes feel myself really struggling to not explain that, because I could explain it. I've written a couple things lately on the blog thing where I did go into explaining it in ways that I was trying not to explain things. Why do you want to start noticing good things? It's almost impossible for me to tell you the benefit of saying this is good until you've done it, the listener, until you've done it for a couple days. Like, I could say to you right now, hey, start saying this is good. And you go, okay, this is good. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about 3 to 7 days from now, when you find yourself subvocally thinking this is good in a way that you didn't today. And now you've changed. And is that because I persuaded you with rationality that this is a good idea? I could pretty much fucking promise you it did not. That's the irony. You're drinking salt water. You want so much explanation. You want so much context. You want so much assurance. You want so many ways to know that this is even worth your time to pay attention to. And you can definitionally not know the value of what this thing is until you've had the experience of the thing. It's the essential experience. I mean, it's like masturbating to thoughts of masturbation. You can get yourself real raw, trying to figure this shit out. Or you can just shut the fuck up in your brain and start finding yourself moving in the direction of the things that make you more of who you want to be. And once you start doing that and you start saying this is good, I don't mean to sound like a fucking yogi, but you'll start discovering these things on your own. And you won't need idiots like me to suggest them to you. And maybe you won't be quite so credulous about following every headline until it makes you very sad. Maybe there will be a way that you can find your own fifth Goldberg variation today. Maybe you'll go out and find a chimney today that you didn't notice yesterday. This morning, I needed to unwind after this call with my mom. So I scooted around on my scooter, and I did something I haven't done in probably 10 years. I just took a bunch of pictures. Just took a bunch of photos. Started out as just I want to go see what's going on in all the storefronts in my hood. And then I found myself taking photos, not to be creepy and not to post or to do anything, but, a pretty cromulent cognitive phenomenon is like when you start taking photos of things, you start looking at things differently. And I was just thinking and taking photos and just thinking about stuff and thinking about how this used to be this place that does your eyelashes now. It used to be a toy store. And then in 2009, that toy store went out of business, but all the toys were still in the store. And all the toys were still in the window. Now they do eyelashes, you understand? And this place been closed for years. And around 2010, they finally fully closed. The entire front window, every toy that was in the window when the place was open was still there. But inside, you could see vermin and you could see water damage. Think about a children's toy store, like just bursting with color and energy and enthusiasm. And I know it's 2010 because in the front window was a really cool Lego Toy Story playset.
Aww.
Which is our favorite movie at the time. Mm-hmm. And as that place stayed open with the water damage and the vermins, I would watch that very colorful playset get dimmer and bluer, right? The way old photos do when they're in the sun. And the place just got into worse and worse and worse condition, but we'd always still look in there and see that in the window. And then eventually they closed and they cleaned it out, and now they do eyelashes. I didn't know I was going to think about that this morning. But I had a really rough day, rough morning, talking to my mom, and I went and did that and took a photo in that window. And I don't know, it made me feel alive in a way that I feel really good about. So when you feel feelings and you cry and you have feelings, should you feel bad about that? I don't think so, because maybe you're just not used to being this alive. And that's what happens. But whether it helps you to stand in a restroom like you're Superman, or, whether it helps you to do breathing exercises or look for the chimneys, God, I can't persuade you to feel strong feelings about your life, but I really wish more of you would. I wish I could get you excited about being alive. And every day I struggle with how hard it is to help people feel good about being alive, including sometimes my mom. But I'm going to keep trying. I'm going to keep recommending Taskmaster, and I'm going to keep trying. We should probably cut that off a lot earlier.
No, you're not pretty happy with that?
I'm pretty happy with that. Oh, let me find you the photo I took. Because even though I'm not on Twitter anymore, and even though nobody cares, and even, I do sometimes just see an image in the wild and think, oh my God, this would be, if I spent a little time on this, would be such a good Twitter header. and I realized with some cropping, I could probably, so I may really super break your heart and go find this exact window 15 years ago. But this is the window where the Toy Story thing used to be. And now it's an ad for having cosmetic procedures done. And it says that they do, facial treatments, for acne-prone skincare. I just love that right above it, it says, "A better you awaits." So, Toy Story. I didn't really do the challenge, but hey, you know what else is good? Something
We're not done.
No, we're almost done. I mean, are we keeping that in? Are we keeping the part where I cried?
I would very much like it to be kept in.
Okay. And here's the thing I say to myself sometimes when I'm sleeping or when I'm having intrusive thoughts. Take whatever's happening. Because what's really happening, right? You're noticing, like, my mind is racing. I don't know what your examples are, but you probably do, right? Your mind is racing, or I know this happens to people who have insomnia. Oh, God, I read a piece about sleep stuff and insomnia the other day that, like, curled my hair. It's so goddamn scary. People who have, like, actual real, like, real insomnia, which I don't have. The one, like, where you're bolt upright at 4 a.m. thinking about all the people you've harmed in life, that kind of insomnia. But we've had those thoughts, right? Intrusive thoughts. And I'm going to give a really 101 string of words that I think are interesting to add to the beginning of how you conceive a thought. Sorry, I'm putting this really poorly. Sometimes we have thoughts that we don't like. And we realize we think that we're the weather, not the sky. We think that our feelings are who we are. I mean, maybe you don't, maybe others don't, but like I think people tend to believe that their feelings are ultimately, whether they want to acknowledge it or not, are the most important thing in the world. How they feel, it's always on their mind. It's almost always probably bugging you. The Buddhists would call this a broken wheel. Like, we're constantly like an out of kilter wheel. That's what dukkha is. That's the whole point. That's what the guy in that thing says. But you know what's interesting is to just give yourself a little bit of a frame. One step back in a frame. By adding this phrase to the beginning of how you decide to think about your thought. You ready? This is the part where what happens? This is the part where my mind is racing. This is the part where I'm sad about my mom. This is the part where I'm having trouble falling asleep. Do you see any distinction to that? Because I'm not saying you're saying it's not you or it's external to you, but once you spend enough nights beginning by going, this is the part where my mind is racing, it loses some of its power over you. Because you're just the one watching the story. And in some ways, you may become a person who gets to even have a role in writing that story. That's one I'll toss out. Give any tips?
No, I'm pretty happy with that.
You want to watch the Mike Wozniak thing? It's really short.
Yes.
We should ding out of the show, huh?
Yes.
Anything else? Kind of petered out at the end.
I'm Peter.
happy
Don't
with that.
take.
Yeah, it's the show. We don't get a ding.